Welcome to my channel, dear friends. Welcome to our daily XRP news review. Today, November 25th, 2023, the crypto market is buzzing with events, and once again, XRP is in the spotlight. While the entire market is losing almost $2 billion in capital outflows, XRP stands out as the only asset with positive inflows. This is no coincidence, it's a sign of strength. We'll break down the key news, prices, forecast, and expert opinions. If you hold XRP or are just thinking about investing, this episode is for you. Let's dive into the details. Discover Etherify, a proven project in the field of crypto staking. With an initial investment of $1,400, in just a few weeks I was able to grow my capital to $6,000, which demonstrates the high efficiency and reliability of this platform. Etherify uses advanced technology on the Ethereum blockchain for staking, guaranteeing you a share of the profits from the fees earned for confirming transactions on this network. Currently, the project is actively working to attract permanent partners, offering them 90% of all profits, which is significantly higher than standard terms. My experience with Etherify confirms its honesty and transparency. Earning over $5,000 in net profit through regular deposit and withdrawal operations proves that this project deserves your attention. Don't miss your chance to take advantage of these favorable terms while the project is expanding its partner base and offering the most profitable staking rates. First, let's talk about the main hit of the day. XRP ETFs are shaking up the market. Franklin Templeton, a giant with $1,130 billion in assets, has just received the green light from the New York Stock Exchange to list its spot ETF under the ticker XRP, XRPSZ. This happened yesterday, but today the waves are still rolling in. The ETF launched with zero fees on the first $5 billion in assets until May 2026, and this has already caused XRP's price to jump by 8% within hours. Imagine this: institutional investors who used to avoid crypto because of regulatory risks can now easily enter XRP through a familiar instrument like an ETF. It's like a bridge between Wall Street and the blockchain. Bloomberg analysts, including Eric Balchunas, predict that trading volumes could reach millions of dollars in the first month. That's more than many debuts this year. But that's not the only ETF news. Grayscale also launched its own XRP ETF on the New York Stock Exchange yesterday. And Henry Capital had already launched its spot XRP ETF on Nasdaq under the ticker XRPC back on November 13, 2025, which raised $59 million on its first day of trading, a record for crypto ETFs this year. Bitwise already has its own product on the market, and now with Franklin Templeton in the game, institutional demand is soaring. Why is this important? Because ETFs lower the barriers for pension funds, hedge funds, and regular investors. There's no need to store XRP in a wallet, just buy an ETF share and you're in. According to CoinShares, inflows into XRP funds are in positive territory, while Bitcoin and Ether are experiencing outflows. XRP is the only one swimming against the current. This confirms the utility of XRP. Fast, cheap cross-border payments based on the XRP ledger that don't consume energy like Bitcoin. Let's move on to the price. At the time of recording, November 25, 2025, XRP is trading at around $2.09. In the last 24 hours, it's up by 7 to 8%, and that's after a week of consolidation. Key levels. Support is at $1.96. These were former resistance levels from 2021, which have now turned into support. Resistance is at $2.18 up to $2.36. A breakout above this will open the way to $3. But be careful, the market is volatile. If we fall below $1.90, a pullback to $1.70 is possible, and in the worst case, to $1.25. The Fear and Greed Index is at 19. Extreme fear, which often signals a reversal. RSI is at 39. Neutral but leaning towards oversold. Historically, November is the best month for XRP. The average growth is 88%, the median is 25%. If the trend repeats, expect fireworks. Now, about the fundamentals. Ripple Labs, the company behind XRP, is not sleeping. They just announced joining ISO 2022, an international standard for financial messaging. Ripple is the first member focused on distributed ledgers like blockchain. This means that XRP is not just entering the system, it is becoming the standard for cross-border transfers. Imagine banks around the world using the XRP ledger for instant settlements. Replacing the slow and expensive SWIFT system, Ripple is already partnering with more than 300 banks and financial institutions. And yesterday, Ripple's CTO David Schwartz hinted at a new model for the RLUSD stablecoin, which could completely eliminate selling pressure on XRP. Instead of the escrow release, where Ripple periodically dumps tokens, the new scheme uses dynamic minting and burning tied to real payments. This could stabilize the price and attract even more liquidity. Plus, there are updates to the XRP code. Enhanced security with a transaction firewall, compliance tools, and scalability. Smart contracts have been launched on the AlphaNet. DeFi and NFT are being tested on XRPL. This is a step towards a full-fledged Web3 ecosystem. But it's not all rosy. The payment volume on the XRP ledger has dropped by 50% in a month from its peak in October. This raises questions about utilitarian adoption. Maybe institutions are waiting for more regulatory clarity. In August 2025, the SEC settled the Ripple Spores case, but the status of XRP as a security is still in question. Plus, the overall market is down. $258 million worth of shorts were liquidated in a day, including XRP. Whales are moving coins. Some are accumulating, others are taking profits. Crypto analyst Steph sees patterns similar to those in 2017. Gaussian channel and a 42-day correction. He predicts a massive surge. Forecasts for the near future. According to models from CoinDCX and AMB Crypto, by the end of November, XRP could reach $2.55, a 30% increase. Finance Magnates is targeting $3.25 with a growth of 12.8%. PricePredictions.com is even more ambitious. $8.84 by October 2026, a 240% increase. In the long term, Investing Haven sees a range from $1.81 to $4.44 in 2025 and by 2030 above $9. Motley Fool predicts $6 by 2030 with an annual growth rate of 20%. And if XRP captures a share of the US M1 money supply, which stands at $18,455,900,000,000 as of January 2025, got it on camera. With a fully diluted supply of 99,980,000,000 XRP, the price would soar to $184 per token. 5,000 XRP, worth $10,000 today, would turn into 920,000. Of course, this is just a hypothesis, but it shows the potential. There's a storm on Twitter today. Traders are celebrating. XRP is surging by 8%. The bulls have woken up, according to Digital Asset Dude. Ali G writes, mathematically, the price of XRP cannot stay at current levels. Demand will exceed supply. The target, $10.60 just from the ETF. The whales are celebrating. Inflows into XRP funds are the only positive ones, while the rest of the market is bleeding. And Dave Portnoy jokes, imagine not buying the dip, not me, XRP, ETH, BTC. The overall tone is optimistic despite the volatility. Ripple is on an acquisition spree, spending $4 billion on deals in 2025, including Hidden Road for $1.3 billion and GT Treasury for $1 billion. They're building a financial titan on the blockchain. What does this mean for you? If you're a holder, hold on tight. ETFs and ISO standards are changing the game. For newcomers, diversify. But XRP looks like an undervalued gem with utility. The market is cyclical, fear will be replaced by greed. Watch for a breakout above $2.18. That's a signal for a rally. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the bell and leave a comment. What do you think? See you in the next video.